The last video ended with me talking about your hypothesis. So you need to fill that in before you complete the experiment. Then you're going to decide, how am I going to do this experiment? So I'm not giving you the instructions. You are going to create the procedure. You know that you are testing your independent variable. Well, you're testing your dependent variable, and you know your independent variable. So on the last slide, you are going to type the procedures. If someone else was going to do this lab, you need to type the instructions for what they would need to read in order to be able to do the lab. So it needs to be very specific. So if you want to say first crumple a piece of toilet paper into a ball, use that ball for trial 1. Launch the paper, measure the time, measure the distance, calculate speed. How do you calculate speed? Distance divided by time. Your procedure should be very specific. So once you have typed your procedure, then you can do your lab. So you type your procedure, and that is when you will finally need the data table. So you will be doing your lab, and you will type your data in the table as you do the lab. Remember, the first row here that says variable is where you're going to type the independent variable, so what you are changing, the two different versions. So if you have small paper, large paper, small angle, large angle, 6 popsicle sticks height, 3 popsicle stick height, you type it in there. The distance, you are going to have to use a ruler, tape measure, or estimate with like a shoe. Say a shoe is 12 inches. So estimate, did it go 1.5 shoes? That would be 12 plus 6 is 18 inches. It's okay to estimate. Speed, you have to calculate. Time, record with a phone. Speed, you have to calculate. So you're going to divide the distance divided by the time. Once you have filled in your data and you have completed 3 trials, so if you do small paper, large paper for trial 1, you need to do the same thing for trial 2 and 3. Those you can't change your independent variable for each trial. It needs to be the same for all 3 trials. Last thing you'll do is you'll complete your conclusion. So it's okay if your hypothesis is wrong. That's not a problem. That's what happens in science. Say that it's incorrect or say that it's correct. You highlight by highlight, and then you click on this and highlight, in case you still don't know. That is how you highlight. So the evidence that I have to support my claim is, so what is your evidence? How did you know your hypothesis was right or wrong? You should be getting that from the table. So explain what your data table says. If your data table says that when you used construction paper, the speed was slower than when you used a tissue, say that. Say what the speed was with a construction paper, say what the speed was with a tissue. So you will turn in these slides with a picture of your catapult, and that will be your major grade. You should have nothing to type on the very first slide. It's instructions. The very first slide is instructions. The second slide, I will be looking for all the boxes to be completed. And on the third slide, I will be looking for your procedure. Procedure is your instructions for how to do the lab. I'm not giving them to you. You are developing them. So you are deciding, what steps do I need to take? What steps would someone need to take reading this in order to complete the lab? Once